Hi, my name is Felicia Bates, and I will be presenting iStart's research on enhancing clinical understanding of fetal alcohol spectrum disorder to inform START services. The intent of this study was to take a deeper look at fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, a common cause of intellectual disability. We wanted to see if we found any clinically significant trends that may inform our primary, secondary, and tertiary services for this subpopulation. We use a search database to compare intake and assessment information of 17 individuals we searched with FASD to all of those served in fiscal year 21. We compared things like mental health conditions, medical conditions, reason for referral, changes in living situation, ABC score. What we found is individuals with FASD are more likely to have multiple mental health conditions. We found the same to be true in medical conditions. Reason for referral is kind of a variable. However, 59% were at risk for loss of losing placement, comparative to 42%. And that was significant to us because whether they were identified as a risk of losing placement as a reason for referral or not, many of those individuals did have a change in living situation while in our services. So some of the major implications that we have found from this data is that individuals with FASD are more likely to experience comorbid conditions, and that individuals with FASD are at an increased risk for loss of placement. Whether or not it's indicated as a reason for referral is an indicative of the chances that they will have a change in living situation. So how does this information inform our services? From a primary level, the data really indicates a need for some capacity building for those systems that support people with FASD. So this may come by the way of training and education, and then linkages to ensure that referrals are made earlier to reduce that risk of loss of placement. Secondary service considerations, because those with FASD are at increased risk for loss of placement and often experience changes in living situations during services, we should consider anyone with FASD at a higher risk for loss of placement, whether it's noted as a reason for referral or not, and really start that conversation around that risk earlier so that a common goal can be created around it and action planning can occur to reduce the risk. Developing a transitional support tool to help those that do experience a change in living situation have a more systematic way of transitioning. While all of our cases do go to our ID consult, it may be important to have more frequent ID consults because of the comorbid conditions and the overlapping of symptomology, and then considering completion of CSEs on the subpopulation more often to ensure information has been transitioned from place to place because they're at that higher risk of changes in living situation. Tertiary services considerations, they still have those higher irritability and hyperactivity scores, which indicate a higher likelihood of emergency services, so that proactive engagement and support of tertiary systems, and then providing that tertiary support when in crisis.